Hey friends, welcome to this chill, feel good flow. So this one is perfect for if you're having a slow morning or if you're winding down from a busy day. The focus is on the glutes, the psoas and the quads, so really getting into the hips. Now you won't need any props except if you would like a block or a blanket for just a little bit extra support, then of course you can grab that now. And like always guys, if you could like this video, share it with any of your friends and family who need yoga. That's a fantastic way to support me to keep creating content for you. So we're going to begin by sitting onto our mat, sending our legs forwards, and we're going to cross the right shin in front of the left shin. Now here, if you would like your block for a little bit extra height, especially if you can feel like your knees are really high and you're tilting back, then just grab that now. And just heel toeing the feet out a little wider so that the feet are in line with the knees. If the hips are really tight today, then you grab a hold of a block to sit up on the block for a little bit more height. If your knees are really high, then don't worry, just bring the fingertips down onto the mat and use the hands as your second spine to lift up a little higher. So we'll take a breath in all the way up to the crown, lengthen. And as you exhale, just a little hinge at the hips as you fold forwards, just slow. And then back up, ground into the hands, lift the chest, lengthen all the way to the crown. And then exhale to gently fold. So this is just your time now to really just check in. How are my hips feeling? Back up, breathing in. And again, fold on the breath out. Back up slow on the inhale. This time we stay up, walk the right hand out to the right and lean to the right as you exhale. So allow the right side of the body to slightly crunch. And then find even more length through the left and send the left arm straight up towards the sky. Take a big breath in, find even more length, more space. And as you exhale, maybe plant the right palm down and lean more towards the right. Maybe left arm overhead. Big breath in to the side of the body, breathing in even to the side of that left hip. Even breathing into the left hip. Stay long, exhale. Then press down into the right palm, come back up, really reaching that left arm straight up. And then lowering the left hand down, switch sides, lean to the left. Keeping that right sit bone grounded, sweep that right arm up. Steady inhale. Maybe start to send that right arm overhead on the exhale. Breathing in. Slow breath out. And press down into the left hand, send the right arm straight up on the inhale. Release the right hand down, bring the hands behind you and switch the cross of the legs. So if you're still on your block, just stay on the block. Let the knees again get heavy. Feet, if you can, as wide as the knees. Up onto the fingertips, breathing in. Little hinge at the hips and fold in on the breath out. So even if this is just a really subtle lean forward, that's okay. And then back up, breathing in. Fold on the breath out. And we got two more like that. Inhale to rise. Just create a little bit more space. And then exhale, you might just get that little bit deeper. Last one, breath in. Slow breath out. So just taking our time to warm up the hips. Back up, inhale. And again with the side bend, left hand out to the left, ground the left palm down, right sit bone grounds, send that right arm up. This time, as you lean over towards the left, maybe bend the right elbow and work the forearm behind the head. And see if you can press the back of the head to the forearm. Take an inhale, lift the chest up a little higher, especially if you can feel like you're leaning too far forwards. And then stay long, breath out. Press down into the left hand, send the right arm straight up on the inhale. And then lower the right hand down on the exhale. We'll switch sides. Lean over towards the right. Left sit bone grounds. Left arm up on the inhale. And then again, see if you can bend the left elbow as you exhale. Forearm behind the head. Keeping that left knee heavy. Big breath in. Stay slow, breath out. Keep turning the heart up towards the sky on the inhale. Long exhale. Ground down into the right hand, send the left arm straight up on the in-breath. Then release, come back to center on the out-breath. So we're going to make our way to a tabletop position. So if you're sitting on a block, just move it out of the way. So coming to hands and knees, so hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and just moving the hips from side to side. Now you have a little bit more of an indication of how the hips are feeling, how the sides of the body are feeling. But now we're just going to get a little bit more clear on how the shoulders are feeling. So take an inhale, walk the hands a hand's distance forwards. As you exhale, keep the toes tucked under and start to press the chest towards the floor and send the sit bones back. Now don't let the elbows touch the mat. Ground into the palms, keeping the elbows off so you're hollowing out through the belly, hollowing out through the armpits, but then see if you can let the head be heavy. Big inhale into the back of the heart. Slow exhale. And just once more like that, breathing in to the upper back, but also into the low back. Long breath out. Send the gaze forwards on the inhale. Shift the shoulders forwards and we'll start to set up for downward dog. We're not going to be here for too long. We're going to use it as a transition. So just make sure that your hands are out a little wider to create space for the shoulders. Pick the knees off the mat, gently pressing the chest back. So even though we're focusing on the hips and more of the psoas and the quads today, take this opportunity in downward dog to really feel into the hamstrings, to stretch the hamstrings. So we'll bend the right knee deeply and lower the left heel down. Coming up high onto the balls of the feet, inhale. Bend the left knee, lower the right heel down. Come up high, balls of the feet, breathe in. One more round, right knee bends, left heel down. Coming up high, balls of the feet, breathe in. Left knee bends, right heel down on the breath out. Come up high, balls of the feet on the inhale. Bend both knees, this time look forwards. Walk all the way to the top of the mat. Hands to shins, big breath in, lengthen the spine. Fold, long breath out. Just let the knees be as soft as you need. Arms heavy, bend the knees, ground into the heels. Peel your spine all the way up on the inhale. Big toes ground, shoulders up to the ears. Roll the shoulders down the back as you exhale. Arms up overhead, breathing in. Grab a hold of the right wrist and lean over to the left on the breath out. Back to center, inhale. Grab a hold of the left wrist and lean over to the right on the exhale. Back to center, breathing in. Bend the knees, forward fold, long breath out. hands to shins, slow inhale to lengthen. Step the right foot back, drop the right knee down. Heel toe that left foot wide, left hand to the inside of the foot. Release the top of the right foot down and really press into the foot, press down into the shin. Take an inhale, send the heart forwards, find even more length. Bend the elbows and bow in on the exhale. So just getting deeper into the hips. Back up, breathe in, slow. Exhale to fold. Back up, inhale. Fold in, exhale. Back up, breathing in. Now stay up onto the right fingertips, turn the rib cage to the left and send the left arm up. Either stay here or bend the left elbow. See if you can cup the base of the skull, plug that left shoulder head back and just do a little lean back. So rib cage is turning up. So here you can breathe into that right psoas, little lean back. Take one more inhale, and then left hand down to the mat as you exhale. Heel toe the left foot wide, and step the left foot back. Downward facing dog. Walk the hands and other hand systems forwards. Tuck the toes under, picking the knees off the mat as you press back. This time we go straight to it. Come up high onto the balls of the feet, round the upper back, bend both knees, look forwards, walk all the way to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, weight to the toes, fold in, exhale. Arms heavy, rolling up to stand on the inhale, shoulders up towards the ears. Melt the shoulders down the back on the exhale. Arms up overhead, breathing in. Grab a hold of the right wrist. This time we bend the right elbow, forearm comes behind the head, soften the knees, and start to lean over towards the left and really breathe into the side body, but breathe into the front of that right hip. Back to center, arms straighten. Grab a hold of the left wrist, bend the left elbow, forearm behind the head, soften the knees and lean over towards the right. Back to center, arms up, breathe in. Bend the knees forward, fold on the breath out. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot steps back, left knee drops down to the mat on the exhale. Release the top of the left foot down, shin grounds down, heel toe the right foot wide, bring the hand to the inside of the foot. Up onto the fingertips, breathing in, lengthen the spine. Bend the elbows and fold on the breath out. So keep grounding into the back foot, keep grounding into the shin. Back up, breathing in, and really breathe in more space into that left front of the hip. Exhale to fold. 2 more, inhale. Fold in, exhale. Back up, breathing in. Stay up onto the left fingertips, turn the rib cage to the right and send the right arm up. Start to bend the right elbow, work the forearm behind the head, maybe cup the base of the skull. Start to lean back, working that right shoulder head back, spinning the rib cage up. At the same time, keep pressing that left hip point forwards. Slow inhale in. Stay long breath out. 1 more in breath. Releasing the right hand down on the out breath. Heel toe the right foot wide and gently step the right foot back. Downward facing dog, walk the hands forwards, picking the knees off the mat as you press the chest back. Slow breath in, back of the heart, find a subtle rounding of the upper back. Exhale, just soften the knees slightly and see if you can send the sit bones up even higher, create even more space. Up onto the balls of the feet, breathe in. Bend the knees, look forwards on the breath out, start to walk all the way to the top of the mat once again. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold, exhale. Rolling up to stand on the in-breath. Think sit bones towards the heels as you roll up, shoulders up towards the ears, and then melt the shoulders down the back on the exhale. Now this time, arms up overhead, breathing in. Interlace the fingers behind the head on the breath out and just soften the knees. Press the back of the head to the palms. Do a little lean back as you send the heart forwards and up. Keep grounding into the heels and create even more space for the low back as you lean back. And then on the exhale, chin to chest, draw the elbows in towards one another and start to curl all the way back down to a fold, hands down to the mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Step the right foot back, drop the right knee down on the breath out. Now here, if you can feel your knee is pretty sensitive today, you might want to either double up on the mat or get a blanket or a cushion underneath that right knee for a little bit more support. From here, left hand onto the left thigh, right hand on top. Now it could be that as you come up here and use the hands as resistance on the thigh, little lean back, that you really feel the psoas, you really feel into the quad even, and this is enough for you and you want to stay here and hold, then please stay. Otherwise, we'll start to sink a little deeper in towards that left knee. So bend a little deeper. Drawing the right heel to the right glute, grab a hold of that right foot with the right hand. Start to roll that left shoulder head back. If you have the back foot, imagine like you want to kick the foot back, kick the shin back at the same time as your heart is moving forwards. Notice if the rib cage is turning towards the right, just keep moving that left shoulder head back. Stay with your center. Left big toe grounds. Steady inhale. Slow exhale. One more in breath. And then gently, gently, we're going to release the back foot. So leaning forwards, just go slow, slow to release. Well done. Now heel toe that left foot wide. Take your time to come into pigeon pose. So lower the left knee down. Slide that left heel a little closer in towards the right hip point. Tuck the right toes under, and especially if you notice your hips want to go over towards the right, just a little spin in with that right inner thigh. And then maybe to get a little deeper into the pose, you slide that right foot back and then drop the right knee back down. Release the top of the right foot down. Lift the heart up a little higher on the inhale. Now, if you can feel your low back here, start to lower down onto the forearms. Otherwise, right hand onto the right thigh. Press down into the right thigh. Lift the chest up a little higher. You'll lift that left sit bone off the mat. That's okay. Either stay here or right heel to the right glute. Grab a hold of the foot once again. Kick the foot back. Left shoulder head moves back. So wherever you are, if you haven't got the back foot, just keep pressing the foot down, shin down, lifting the heart that little bit higher so you can breathe into the front of that right hip. Steady inhale. And then gently, gently release the back foot on the exhale. Everyone, we're going to lower the forearms down, down. Take your time with control. So breathing into the low back. Imagine like the breath is expanding out. Breathing into the hips. And then slow exhale, just soften the jaw. Soften the shoulders. Just notice where you're holding the tension, where you're holding any sense of gripping. And just finding a little bit more ease. And we'll do 3 deep breaths together. So slow inhale into the belly, into the heart. Maybe out the mouth, long exhale. Breathing in, in. Long breath out. Last one, inhale. Slow exhale. Looking forwards, walking hands back in. Now we're going to take our time here to slide back to a tabletop. So chin to chest, round the upper back. Keep the right knee heavy and slide the left knee back. Woo. And just notice the difference between sides. So just gentle rocks from side to side for the hips. And I know that was a lot for the hips, so just notice what's happening now as you've released out of the pose. And if anything is kind of bubbling up to the surface, any emotions that are trapped in the hips, just keep leaning into the breath. And we'll transition to our last downward dog. So walking the hands distance forwards if you need to. Tucking the toes under, pick the knees off the mat. So again, finding lots of length through the spine, gaze between the feet. Up onto the fingertips, breathing in. Up onto the balls of the feet, breathing in. Deep bend into the knees, look forwards on the breath out. And again, walking to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Bowing in, long exhale. Arms heavy, rolling up to stand on the in-breath. Shoulders down the back on the out-breath. Arms up overhead, breathing in. Once again, interlacing the fingers behind the back on the breath out. Knees soften, press the back of the head to the palms, working the shoulder heads back, little lean back, but keeping the length through the low back. Stay as you exhale. Maybe explore sending the gaze up a little bit higher as you breathe in, but keep the weight to the big toes. And then chin to chest, elbows draw in, roll all the way back down to a fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot steps back, left knee drops down to the mat. So again, if you know that your left knee is a little tender, double up on the mat for a little bit more cushion, or grab your pillow or a blanket. Right hand to the right thigh, left hand on top. So we use the resistance of the hands to lean gently back and press now that left hip point forwards. Either you stay here and hold, or start to bend a little deeper into that right knee, left heel to the left glute, grab a hold of the left foot with the left hand, and then roll that right shoulder head back. Steady inhale, all the way up to the crown, find the length. And maybe go that little bit deeper into the pose, physically or energetically. Start to press the shin back, press the foot back, at the same time as you pull in. And just stay with your gaze, stay with a point that doesn't move, and just keep your focus there. One more breath in. Slow breath out. Start to lean the weight slightly forwards. Release the back foot if you have it. Take your time to heel toe the right foot over towards the left. Right knee down to the mat for Pigeon Pose. Draw the heel a little closer in towards that left sit bone, left front of the hip. Press down into the right shin so the right sit bone can come off the mat. Pick up that left knee and maybe slide the foot a little bit further back so the pelvis gets a little lower. Then release the top of the foot down. So again, anything going on with the low back, you can fold in down onto the forearms or right hand onto the right thigh. Press down into the shin to come up a little bit higher. Either you hold here and stay or bend the left knee, heel comes into the glute. Grab a hold of that left foot once again. Right shoulder head draws back. Steady inhale. So use the resistance as you kick back to lift the chest up a little higher. Long exhale. Breathing in. Steady breath out. We're not here for too long. One more. Inhale. Gently, gently release the back foot on the exhale. Lower down onto the forearms. And then you can find a release. So we're staying fairly active with that last pose. So now that you've come onto the forearms, you can just release any sense of gripping, any effort. And find a little bit more ease and softness with the exhale. Three more deep breaths here. Breathing in, belly, heart. Slow exhale. Breathing into the low ribs, side ribs, front and back of heart. Long breath out. Last one, breathing in, in. Slow exhale. Take your time to come back up onto the hands, pressing down into the palms, chin to the chest, round the upper back. Keep the left knee heavy as you slide the right knee back. And then just make sure the knees are underneath the hips as you just rock the hips from side to side. And then bringing the big toes to touch, knees wide. See if you can bring the bum down to the heels. Now, if you're feeling any tension in the knees and you need a little bit more height, then grab a hold of a block or a pillow and bring it underneath the sit bones for more height. So there's a little less flexion at the knees. See if you can either stay here or start to walk the fingertips back. Turn the fingertips towards the back of the room so you're opening up through the shoulders that little bit more. Rolling the shoulder heads back. Now either stay here if you can already feel like a big opening for the quads, for the psoas, then stay. Otherwise, left hand grounds. Send the right arm up on the inhale. Keep the shins grounding down. Maybe gently lift the hips away from the sit bones as you exhale. Breathing in. Lowering the hips back down on the breath out. And switching sides. Right hand behind. Press down into the feet, press down into the shins. Left arm up on the inhale. Ground into the feet. Maybe lift the hips as you exhale. Keep rolling that right shoulder head back. Big breath in. Lower the hips down on the breath out. We'll do one more round. Left fingertips behind, right arm up, straight to it. Lift the hips on the in-breath. Stay on the out-breath. One more breath in. Release the hips down on the breath out. Right hand back. Left arm up, breathe in. Lift the hips as well. Stay on the breath out. One more in breath. Release the hips down on the out breath. Come back up slow. And start to draw the knees towards one another. Move the hips over to one side and send the legs forwards. We're going to come to lie down onto the back. Hugging the knees to the chest, just a little rock from side to side. And then either take a hold of the shins, tracking the knees out wide. Either stay or grab a hold of the outsides of the feet for happy baby pose. So imagine like you want to press the feet up towards the ceiling at the same time as you're just gently pulling the feet down. Heart stays really open and keeping the length through the low back. So think sit bones towards the front of the mat. So we haven't done that much inner groin opening, so enjoy the next 3 deep breaths. You might even bring the legs out just a little bit wider, so just still being very gentle and listening to the body, listening to the hips. And last breath in. And then rebending the knees, plant the feet down. And we'll transition to Savasana, so bringing the feet out a little wider. Arms out a little wider. Big breath in into the belly, the chest. And just let everything be heavy on the breath out. Pelvis heavy. Legs heavy. And just notice the space that you've created in the body. Maybe notice the space that you've created in the mind with just this short practice. Now, of course, you can stay in Savasana for as long as you need, yogis. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.